Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new piercing video. Now this one has been quite a highly requested one, and that is to discuss all the different types of ear piercings, ear modifications that you can get, to discuss like the healing process and how painful they are and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be doing that today, so let's get on with the video. But quickly, if you have just happened to stumble across this video and you don't know who I am, hello, please subscribe. I do videos every single week regarding a whole variety of topics. I'm also trying to get my silver play button, which is 100,000. We're almost there, so let's make it happen. So to start off, obviously I'm going to be talking about the most common one, which is earlobe piercings. So I have a little bit of a sort of like a love-hate relationship with this, because I almost don't consider these a piercing, because it's kind of one of those things that sort of like even babies get done, although do not pierce your baby. But I just kind of don't count them. Obviously they're earlobes here. I got mine done when I was 5 years old. I got it done with a piercing gun. I know, triggered. I have now stretched it since then, and I do have my right side of my earlobe done as well, which I did myself, but that's how I did do it with the piercing needle. Healing process is really quick. Like, it can be like 6 weeks and it can be healed. You don't have any problem sleeping with it. If you are like scared about getting a piercing, just get your earlobes done to get sort of like a feel for how it kind of is. So to stay on the kind of lobe section, this is an upper lobe piercing. So I do have both sides of my upper earlobes done. I did both do them myself as well, just because like I wasn't going to pay for a piercer to pierce like skin, what I can do. Now you can have a tiny bit of cartilage in it. Depends on how your ears are obviously shaped and formed and stuff, but these, luckily enough, it doesn't have any cartilage where these was done. Again, they are really easy to heal. They don't hurt, they don't do anything. Okay, so the final lobe piercing is transverse piercings. Now these ones will alter like from person to person depending on the shape of your earlobe, but this is a piercing that goes horizontally through your earlobe. It's a little bit more tricky to do, especially a piercing that goes through one sort of like end of the earlobe and goes all the way through out the other side here. It's almost like having a surface piercing inside your ear, if that makes any sense. It's not a surface piercing, but like it kind of is. I know it's really weird. It's a hard one to really explain. Pain-wise, I've heard it doesn't hurt much more than a normal earlobe piercing. It's just like a prolonged pain, because obviously it's going through a lot more of your skin. So it's a little bit like it just takes a little bit longer, but the pain itself is still bearable because it's like quite, you know, it's just flabby bits of skin. So onto the cartilage piercings, and we're going to be talking about conch piercings first. So there are two types of conch piercings. There's an upper conch, which is on the top part of your ear, and an inner conch, which is what I've got on the inside of my ear here. So conch piercings to me are the best ones to get if you are like starting to get like cartilage piercings, because it's really easy to do and it's out of the way. The good thing about this is when you sleep, it doesn't get in the way, because it's on the inside of your ear. You don't really catch it that often. It will get pierced with a flat barbell, so it's flat on one end and the ball goes on the other, and it can swell sometimes, but like for me, both times it's never really swollen up at all, so I've been very lucky with this. Healing process, it could take up to like 6 months to heal, but that's kind of the same as most cartilage piercings. Like cartilage piercings do take a long time to heal, but for me, this is the perfect one to do if you are starting to get cartilage piercings, because it's very out of the way. If you do get upper conch piercing, a little bit more tricky sleeping and stuff, because you would rest there, but when they're on the inside, like to me, they've been perfectly fine. They've healed really quickly. I've never had keloid bumps. I've never had anything bad on them. Like, they've just been like the perfect piercing to get. So next on the list is snug piercings. Now, I've wanted a snug piercing for like quite a long time, but I haven't really got around to doing it, and it's just like to figure out which ear to get this done on, because obviously they're both quite full now. But snug piercings, unfortunately, are not ones that every single person can get. Depending on the structure of your ear, like not every single person can get this kind of piercing. So this is the piercing that kind of goes in like the inside rim. I don't even know how to explain this part of your ear. It's not the outside, but it's like the inside rim. This is a little bit more of a tricky one to heal, because it's through like a thicker piece of cartilage. It can take up to a year to heal, which is very annoying, I know. But if you're gonna get this done, you have to keep this in mind. With sleeping, it can be a little bit problematic because it's on the outside of your ear. Leaning on it can be a little bit annoying, so you want to like try to sleep on the other side as much as you possibly can. Unfortunately, obviously, when you do sleep, you do roll over, so now and then you might wake up and you've got a bit of blood on your pillow when you first get it done. And so you want to make sure that you've got enough space to have this piercing in, else it can reject and migrate out of your body. Like a few other piercings in your ears, if you do get it where you don't really have enough skin or enough cartilage there, it can migrate out of your body. So you've got to make sure that your piercer really knows what they're doing and really doesn't do it for the sake of doing it. So make sure that you do have enough like snug, I don't know the correct terminology, but make sure you do have enough space for the snug piercing to go in. But this is going to be one that will be quite painful. The thicker the cartilage, the more painful it is, and this is going to be quite a painful one for you, so just bear that in mind. You probably will get pierced as well with quite a long bar, because this is the kind of one that might swell quite a lot, because again, because it is thick cartilage, it's more prone to swelling. So on to another really common one, and it is a tragus piercing. So I do have both of my tragus pierced, both sides. This is obviously obviously become a very, very common piercing. A lot of people do get the tragus pierced now. Mine wasn't painful at all. I've been quite lucky actually with my tragus piercings that they're not very painful. However, this is again another one of those things that not every single person can get done. So someone I actually work with did have both of her traguses pierced like me. However, she didn't have enough space to have the piercing. They just sort of did it, and her traguses were really small. So over time, they have grown out of her body, and now she's got 2 long scars on the either side of her ear. So you've got to make sure that if you're going to get it done, again, make sure you've got enough room in your ear to have it done. It's not one of those ones that every single person can get. Sleeping with this one isn't too bad because of where it is. You kind of rest more on the outer side of your head rather than this part of your face. So for me, like, sleeping was never an issue for this one. So now one that triggers me a lot because it was my most painful one I've ever got in my life, and that's the anti-tragus piercing. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I cannot tell you how painful this was. Like, literally, I would never go through that pain again. My anti-tragus was very, very, very thick. It is this one here that sits on this part of my ear. I love this one so much, and it's not very common. I haven't really seen that many people in my life who've actually have it done, but it was so, so painful. I remember Felicity, who did my ear, she had the clamp over my anti-tragus, like on obviously this side, but I'll show you, like it's through this bit here, and she pulled it down, and as she went to put the needle through, she was like, Jesus, and she had to really push hard to put that through. Oh my gosh, it was so painful. Like, it was so painful because I do have really, really thick anti-tragus, and because it was thick as well, the healing process has been annoying, and it's actually been one that has never really completely healed ever since I had it done, which is really, really annoying. It doesn't give me like stress anymore, but it's not actually completely healed. Sometimes it can be quite sensitive. With sleeping, it was a little bit frustrating because it does stick out. I do idiotically myself. It's my fault, really. I have like a spike on each side because I like spikes. It's like my thing. So sometimes it can get caught when I'm sleeping because it does stick out a little bit more than a normal piercing. So with this kind of piercing, again, it can take up to a year to heal. So next on the list is daith piercings. I think I'm pronouncing that right, daith piercings. So this is one of those piercings that has a lot of like speculation about it, because apparently it can stop you from having migraines. Now, I'm not really too sure about that, so I don't really want to talk until I've researched like about the migraine stuff differently for different videos. So apparently it can stop migraines. I don't know, let me know if that has for you. But daith piercings is one of those ones that are a little bit tricky to get done because it isn't like in the right inside of your ear. It's one of those, like, it's just a difficult one to do. Like, they're gonna have to use like clamps and funny needles and stuff because you can't really get your fingers inside here very well to get it done. Like, yeah. I don't think it's gonna be that tricky to sleep with again because it's on the inside of your ear. It's not really one of those ones that's like gonna get in the way because it's kind of just like inside your ear. But pain-wise, I can imagine that on being very, very painful. Also being like a bit of a weird sensation to have the pain sort of inside your ear there rather than like the outside. So on the inside of your ear, that must feel quite weird. I don't think I've got a big enough daith to even get pierced. Like, again, this is one of those ones that not every single person can get because of the way it is and like the shape of your ear. Again, this would be another one that could potentially migrate depending on the size of your like daith. Also, again, this will be another one of those piercings that does take a little bit longer to heal because of the size of it. So this will be commonly done again with the banana bar. I've seen some people get it pierced with hoops, but I never ever advise people to get pierced with hoops just because when it twists and moves, it will like twist the whole piercing. So next on the list is probably the second most common one that people do get, and that is helix piercings. So as you can tell, I have got quite a few helix piercings along like here and here and stuff. I have to say I haven't really had a bad experience too much with them. The only one I will say is, again, I'm going to do a different video on this, but my yellow one here that you can see with the hoop always gives me problems. Again, with my anti-tragus, like these two piercings give me problems. These are very, very annoying though when you do first get them done with sleeping because they're here and the outside of your ear. They do get caught quite a lot when you're asleep. You catch them sometimes when you're not used to like drying yourself after the shower, or like when you're putting clothes on, you can catch them quite often. So just be aware that when you get these done, they can be very, very annoying if you're not used to it. I always find that sort of along this part here was a lot more painful than up here. I don't really know why, maybe that's just me, but like the two that I have here, like this top one here and this top one here, really didn't hurt at all, but these two here like really did hurt. So also, this is a very, very common one that people do seem to get with guns. Oh my gosh, please do not use guns on your ear cartilage. It will shatter your cartilage, it can damage your ear, you're gonna get infections, it's gross, it's dirty. Just don't get cartilage piercings with a gun. Just do not do it. Please love yourself more. Please respect your body more. I don't care if it costs an extra £10 to go to an actual piercer and get it done in a professional piercing studio. Do not do that to your ear. Like, you were like, just No. But luckily for these ones, they're not too like bad with healing, like 6 months, like a normal cartilage piercing, like relatively easy to heal. So I probably will get a few more of these in my time. I've obviously got a lot of space up here to fill in, so I can probably get a couple Helix ones up here. We can get a little bit forward with that and say forward Helix, which is like along this like flat bit along here. So this is sort of the top bit of the Helix here, but on the forward bit, there's like a little pouch. There's like a little pouch here, and they sort of stick on this part of your ear here. And again, they are quite cute, but they're a little bit more tricky to do just because it is a little bit of a fiddly area. So on to another one that not every single person can get, and that is a rook piercing or a rook piercing. People tell me off as pronouncing rook wrong. So yes, unfortunately, not every single person can get this done. I do have my right one done here. I got this done back in like 2010, I believe, a long time ago now. This is one of those ones that if you do get it done and you don't have enough space there, you can reject it and it will fall out your body, and your body will be like, get this out of my ear. Pain-wise, this was bearable. It was quite painful, but like it was bearable. It's quite a thin bit of cartilage, but because of where it is in your ear, it's one of those really unusual feelings because you don't really feel pain in that part of your ear. Like for me, like it did hurt, but like it was like an unusual pain rather than a ouch pain, if that makes it. I know it makes no sense. This one can be a tiny bit annoying with healing just because of where it is in your ear. Again, don't get this pierced with a hoop. I really want to advise not to get piercings again with hoops. Like just don't do it. Because like you can move it quite often as well because of where it is. And if you've got a hoop, it will stick out quite a lot on your ear. It's become a little bit more common in recent times, but like it's still one of those ones that not many people have. Next one is again another kind of common one now, and that is industrial piercing or scaffolding. However, like some people call it differently. And that is a piercing bar that sort of like has one hole here, one at the top, and then a bar goes straight through the whole thing, and it looks like scaffolding, kind of holds your ear up. There is different variations of this. I can actually get like a bar through my tragus piercing, and it will go through my conch dermal punch here. So some people do get it done like that. Some people do get it done so it goes through the top of the ear and then goes through the bottom like this. So there are slightly different variations of scaffold piercings. So I've actually had this done twice. Yes, I've had it done twice, and both times my ear has been like, nope, you ain't having this, bitch. So the first time kind of was my fault because I didn't really know how to look after them properly because it was my first ever piercing that I got done, like proper piercing. I had it done here, and I'm not really too sure if I had enough space down here to get it done, but she did it anyway. And like it got like a big bump on it, and it just never healed, and it was always oozing and like horrible, and I think it got infected, so I didn't keep it in. The second time I did get it done, I had a really bad time, and my ear ate the bar because it was too close into my ear. I've talked about that in a video before, so you can go watch that video. So these ones, I have to stress for you now, they're very, very, very annoying with healing because they're such a firm part of your ear, and it keeps your ear locked in position. If you nudge it or anything, it's so painful. Again, with sleeping, like you have to sleep on the other side of your ear. Do not put any pressure over the bar because it's just so painful because of the tightness in your ear that it can be. If your ear's not the perfect shape for it, it can reject over time again because it's like you're forcing your ear to be in a position that it wouldn't normally be in, and unless you've got the space to do it, you can like push, and it's almost like a constant pressure on your ear, so your ear will eventually push it out of your body. So with healing, yes, this can take up to a year to heal because again, if you catch it, it's one of those ones that, you know, will be annoying, and it can swell quite a lot because of the way that it is. And finally, I'm going to talk about orbital piercings. So what basically an orbital piercing is basically where there's two piercing holes and you have one hoop that goes through the entirety of the thing. So I mean, I wouldn't have this done just because, you know, I've got too many piercings in different places, but for me, like, it would be too problematic. It'd be one of those piercings that'd be really, really difficult to sleep with. I don't know if you can get orbital piercings from like the get-go, or you have to have piercings in the right position and then heal them first and then put a hoop in it, because I can imagine it being a very, very annoying one to heal because like the way it would stick out in your ear, like it would be really, really problematic, and you'd catch it a lot, and like if things got caught on that or hooped, like it would just rip out of your ear. Like, oh my god, I can't imagine, that'd be so painful. So I really hope you've learned a few things in this video. I really love making these piercing videos. If you have any more suggestions about piercing videos, please leave it in the comment section below and I will get around to making a video on that. Please hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on all my social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all my links are in the description. A big shout out to Kelly, Stephanie and Jordan, who are my top 3 Patreons. Thank you so much for being a Patreon and making me like allowing me to do this full time and stuff. Like, I love you so much. So yeah, I'm gonna go and I'll see you soon, and yeah, bye.